everybody, welcome to my channel. You have professional natural bodybuilder and 3-time world champion, current OCB women's physique world champion, current Mr./Miss America women's bodybuilding world champion, WNBF amateur and pro world champion, and PH Fit. That's me. Welcome. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of training footage, just get right into it, my voice over that, and then you want to stay tuned after the training as I talk and run through why, what's up, mindset, how many sets, how many reps, why, all of it. Get into the mind of a champion. Yeah, stay tuned, watch the training, watch the end, stay tuned.
Alright, so we're getting into it here. And we are doing some face pulls, sort of. I'm pulling it a little bit lower than my face. But we got the stack loaded up here, going for about 10. Banging these out. I brought my own straps to the gym because this is kind of easier to really just strap in. You could use a rope handle or something similar, but I find these straps help me grip it better. So we're doing more face pulls. I did lower the height of the cable just a little bit. So I'm doing a few sets and then I'm lowering it to a different height. Trying to get 10 here again. The last few, I take a couple breaths and then really yank it out. So then we're doing it again. I lowered the cable. And this is going to be hitting that upper back, mid-trap area. And again, I don't know exactly if it's face pull, but it's sort of, it's face pull enough. I could have gone a little bit lighter and maybe done more of a traditional, but this is what we're doing. So next up, we got the adductor machine, and I have put these yoga mats. You can use yoga mats or pads just to get a little bit of extra range of motion. Sometimes the machine doesn't go in that much, so adding these pads give you a little extra, just a little bit extra stretch there. So we're just doing a couple sets of these in between. Today is more of an accessory day for me, so I'm training smaller body parts, calves, rear delts, traps, and I always like to throw in a little bit of adductors and abductors. So here we're doing the adductor machine, and this one pretty straightforward, just out and in, closing out and in, bada boom, bada bing. I always like to do both machines, just to really keep the muscles in balance there. So I think we're doing about 12, maybe 15-ish. And then you can always, pause a little bit in the stretch position more if you want. I didn't do so much of that. Next up, we got calves. Now I like to wipe this off just so the shoes stick a little bit better, and this is a horizontal calf press. If your gym doesn't have this, you could use an angled 45-degree leg press, or you can see over there in the far right there's a seated calf raise. You could do standing calf raise, any variation that your little heart desires. You can go ahead and go with here. I have a pretty good mind muscle connection to my calves, and I like this machine. It's probably not a very common machine in most gyms, so this gym has it, and I like to take advantage of it. So we're doing another set here. Here I'm kind of bending my knees a little bit, just to get a different feel, a little bit different angle here. Getting about 15 reps, I believe, here, and doing some calves. I know most bodybuilding judges and shows don't really put a lot of importance on the calves, but I believe in training calves and having a complete physique, so I like training them and try and throw in a few sets a week. Next up, we have a little bit of an odd exercise. I got this one from somebody named Christian Thibodeau, and he calls it a power shrug. So we're starting low. You can use any kind of strap or rope handle, but a key here is when you get to that top position, you're just trying to really spread the handles apart. So you want to think about like pulling them apart when you get to the top. You probably will need to go a little bit lighter than you think. If you want to like do this kind of correctly, you can go over to his Tib Army and check him out. I think there's probably a better explanation there for that exercise. Next up, we are doing a laying upright row. I like doing these laying down like this just because it kind of prevents you from like cheating and swinging really. This is going to isolate maybe the delts a little bit, and we're just going down, up, down, up. If you didn't have like this row bench, you could probably do it in like a dual cable crossover type, or you could maybe lay on the floor and put like a mat down and do it that way. So we're just doing some of this, and you could also like superset it with rows if you wanted, or like a little shrug, horizontal shrug type thing. Just showing you guys that. I didn't do that, but sometimes I do. Today I didn't really feel like it. Next up, we are doing some just cable crunches for the abs. So key here is to just like really crunch in. Pretty straightforward here. I like doing these for abs as opposed to, you know, some other machines. These I kind of get a good connection with, and you just really want to stretch up and crunch in. Again, I'm using my little strap handles. You could use rope handles or whatever you feel like using there. Abs are something I don't really train probably as much as I should, but these are one of my go-to exercise when I do. And finally, we have this exercise I got from somebody named Eugene Tiao. You can find him over on YouTube. It is like a Smith machine shrug. So I'm kind of trying to grab it in like a snatch grip, so a little bit wider grip. And you just kind of want to shrug up. Range of motion doesn't look huge here, but you're really feeling this in the mid-traps rhomboid area. Again, I got this exercise from somebody named Eugene Tiao. He has YouTube. He's great. You guys should go follow him if you don't already. Eugene, Eugene, I think Teo. On Instagram and YouTube. He's a great guy, and I got this exercise from him. So we're done there with that, and I think that's about it. Alright, so we made it back from training, and I'm going to show you guys my meal real quick post-workout, and then I will talk to you about my training. Just going to show you the meal. We have romaine lettuce, zucchini, a little bit of chicken broth, cucumber, nectarine or peach or whatever I'm feeling, and I've been on a sauerkraut kick lately. Sauerkraut, you know, all the healthy probiotics, prebiotics, all that. Fermented foods, good to include that. So of course we weigh everything out, and then so we got some shrimps, some scramps. Love shrimp when dieting. I just do. I'm going to throw this in with everything else, show you guys all that, and then chow it down and talk to you about my gym sesh. Shrimps. Okay. Alright, so we are having this, and you know what? Let's just talk about our training. I'll just run through my training sesh with you guys right now. So, for me, today was more of like a rest day. I have a really hard time doing like full rest days where I like don't train and don't do anything. I'm just gonna try and chat and just like no editing, off the top, just rolling, just ripping it. So for me, it's really hard for me to take like a flat rest day, no training, no gym. So instead of taking a rest day, I do what I call my rest days, and I train like accessory body parts. So
You know, some might even say like body parts that don't really matter in bodybuilding and competitive bodybuilding, you know, you're not really judged on, but like things like traps, calves, abs. You know, my training is very voluminous, very long time spent in the gym just because I just get carried away with things. It's just how I am. I don't know if it's beneficial or not. It's probably not, but I just get carried away and that's just what it is. So, on a day like today, I train calves, abs, traps. One, because it gives me like a physical and mental break. You know, it feels, I don't stress so much about progressive overload on like calves and abs and traps, whereas everything else I'm pretty obsessive about being better, being stronger. And so that can kind of like weigh on you mentally, especially in like a dieting situation like this. You know, these days kind of like help me reset and like just take this, I like allow myself to take the stress off a little bit with days like today. So that's one thing. And then another thing is, on a day like today, I train calves, abs, traps because, you know, my training sessions for like major, bigger body parts are already so long. I'm like already in the gym for like over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. That if I don't give myself like a full day to do them, I end up just not training them. Because like if I'm like, oh, just like why don't you just do calves at the end of legs or traps at the end of back and stuff, and like I know these muscle groups get hit, you know, indirectly like in these other workouts sort of, but I still want to provide like a direct stimulus to them and like build that complete physique. So the only way for me to really train them and do it consistently is to do their own day for them. So that's another reason why I do this. You know, I just can't find myself to do 4 or 5 sets of abs at the end of these workouts or even at the beginning. I just want to get in there, train legs, shoulders, chest, back, whatever, arms, and just do that. So the only way to give these body parts some attention, direct attention, is to do it this way. So that's another reason why I kind of do this. Do you guys hate me for eating this with a spoon? I used to be like team fork, team spoon. I used to think be team fork, but now I just eat with a spoon, so I think I'm team spoon. Write in the comments, are you team fork or team spoon? I really would love to know. But anyways, so back to like this actual training session, I'll just tell you what I did. Calves, I did horizontal calf raise, 10 by 15, 10 sets by 15, you heard that correctly. Abs, 10 by 15, 10 sets, 15 rope crunches. And then I did traps / like upper back, rear delt, you know, vibes. I did face pulls, and I adjusted the height just to kind of get like a little bit of different stimulus there. Started with 10 by 10, 10 sets of 10. And then I did like a power shrug thing. Kind of, I learned that from like Christian Thibodeau. Great guy in the whole fitness space. It looks kind of like a weird exercise, kind of like I'm not doing full range of motion, like I'm doing like a half cheaty upright row thing, but it's kind of like its own. It's kind of like its own cool exercise, and you really do feel it in the traps. So you want to like pull up, and then when you get up here, it's like you're trying to spread apart the ropes or the handles or whatever. So you don't want to use like a straight bar. You can use like handles or straps or whatever, or rope, and just like you get to the top, you're pulling it to like right under your chest, and then you just like do it like that. You might have to go like lighter than you think actually, because it's kind of like isolating that like mid rhomboid area, which I wanted to hit. So we did that. 10 by 15, 10 sets of 15. And then I did like a lying flat upright row with the straight bar. Sometimes I do it with a rope, whatever. 10 by 15. And then I did 10 sets of 20, like a inclined shrug on the Smith machine. Learned that from Eugene Tiao. I don't know if I'm doing it exactly how he was doing it. But that also hits the like traps, mid-back area in a cool way. So we did that. And then I did just a few sets of adductors, abductors, just because I like to hit those. Those I did only like 4 or 5 sets, and I just tried to take those to like failure. But I do like to include those on like accessory rest / days too. But so if you guys have been listening and paying attention, I did like 10 sets of each exercise when I did them. Why so many sets? Well, because I'm crazy. I am crazy. Yeah, I just like to do a lot of volume, and I get carried away, and it's very hard for me to, once I do a certain amount of volume, to like decrease it. It's just like a mental thing, and I'm kind of OCD about things and sets and reps. So you might notice like 10 by 10, 10 by 15, 10 by 20, and you might ask like why, and I don't really, it's just like a mental thing for me. Like I like certain numbers, I like, it's just like a whole thing. Okay, so that's part of the crazy that I think makes me a champion bodybuilder or successful or whatever you want to say, but part of it I can't really control. It's just like mental warfare, and I just have to do certain things certain ways. So it's a lot of volume even on like a rest day, but I do try and because the body parts, I'm not so obsessed about progressive overload and all that. I do just like rest very short, or I try to at least, just like 5-10 deep breaths, however many seconds that is, I don't know, but I just try and take like 5-10 deep breaths and let that be my rest. So it also helps me to focus on my breathing and like keep a pace to the workout and not just like, lollygag and all that. With my other body parts, I don't exactly train that way. I take my time and want to be strong and all that. But for these like smaller body parts, I kind of approach it that way. So instead of timing my rest, I don't really believe in that. I just, take a certain number of breaths, deep breaths, control my breathing, and then do the set once I've done that. And that kind of, like I said, gives me like a rhythm to the workout and like keeps me, just rolling through it. Still takes me a while, but guys, I already said I am obsessive about the gym. It's like an addiction. It's kind of a problem, being honest here. But yeah, so that's it for now, I guess. I don't know how often I'm really going to be dropping these training type videos, just because the workouts become so voluminous, like I said, and it's really hard for me to stay focused and do all the amount of work that I'm going to do and still record and then all of that. So, I can try and record some workouts because not every single workout is like heroic or whatever, but most of them are, and they kind of grow into like it's like this monster, this beast I can't control anymore, really. But these accessory rest days, whatever I do, it's not so much stress for me to record and film and try and do that for you. So I will try. So there's that. So that's just little insights onto my training, why you don't see much of it. And yeah, my forms sometimes get loose. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing it, but then like once I record myself, it's like, oh wait, that was like really partial range of motion or whatever. And so recording yourself, I do think can be beneficial. Sometimes just like give you like an outsider's objective perspective on like, oh, maybe you're not going as deep as you think or whatever. But you know, if it's working, it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's also like a thing that loops in my head. Like, oh, this training got me to where I am, so maybe it is like cheating and this and not the greatest, right? And it's like I have to try and take this information in and make changes and things very slowly. You know, it's a whole thing with me mentally and such. But I did just want to just share with you guys all of that. So there's that. I hope you guys enjoyed this, because, you know, these training videos are not something I really like doing just because I just want to train, just do it. And just, yeah. Okay, it's a thing. And, but I will, if you guys like this, please like this. If you guys want more of this, I will try to do a little bit more of this, but don't hold me to it. I will try and do other things as well. I got good ideas, good things coming, aside from training and all that. But let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, share it with somebody. You know, do all those things, okay? And I will continue to listen, hopefully, to you guys. And, you know, again, I hope you enjoyed that and saw a little bit of glimpse into the training of a natural professional world champion, 3-time bodybuilder. So thank you, and I'm gonna sign off, and thank you for watching. Peace.